So thank you for, as I say, joining myself and Rosie this afternoon. It's always nice to have this conversation when the sun is shining. Not quite as warm as last week, but still definitely the sun is with us, which is great to see. So over the next sort of 20-25 minutes, we're going to look at the funding that's available across the West Midlands, savings that this can bring using a bit of a case study with a school based in Birmingham, and also the support that we offer here at Solar for Schools. And as I say, Rose is also going to give a little bit of input about the fantastic support that Let's Go Zero can help you all with. So if my screen is working, there we go. So a few bits that we're going to cover just on there. We'll go through those, not lots and lots of slides, but just mainly getting across who we are, what we do and how we can support you. So my name is Tom. I'm the Regional Schools Advisor here at Solar for Schools, and I cover the Midlands and Yorkshire. I've been here just over 12 months now at Solar for Schools. Previous to that, I was a PE teacher for 20 years, so working on the front line, through the school doors, and obviously in understanding the educational side of the role that I do. This has helped sort of form lots and lots of relationships in the role that I'm currently doing. In terms of Solar for School, we have got quite a simple mission in terms of what we want to achieve. Actually, achieving that is another challenge, but ultimately we're here to influence children, and then we want them to have the voice and we want them to influence others. And that's around the fantastic benefits that solar can bring to them, to the community, to the world, and we want to educate them around solar. Naturally, if we can have solar above them within the school, that helps to get the message across because it's a lived experience. We do this in various ways, which we'll go through, but ultimately we want to inspire children and young people to live more sustainably. So give them the education to do that and the ideas. And as I say, give them hands-on learning and real-world examples. So using the solar that they're under to understand how solar is a huge benefit. What we do here at Solar for Schools is sort of three main overarching sort of approaches. So we've got identifying the best way to for an organisation to benefit from solar, whether that be an individual school or whether that be from a trust angle. We also work a lot with councils as well, which obviously naturally then owning the buildings where schools are, work with them to support schools in getting into the world of solar. We can look at various different options. Some of those include zero capital costs, which in a day and age where budgets are very tight, that really helps. And also possible grants that are available, which I will touch upon a little bit more. And we also are able to offer school-funded and trust-funded options as well. So where the school and trust put the capital up front, buy the system outright, and then sort of start benefiting from day one in terms of owning the system. It's very important to consider protecting the legacy of the panels. So once they are on a building, we want to make sure that they are working effectively and efficiently throughout their lifetime. So with that, we provide asset management portal, which allows then school staff to monitor those panels. And also from our end, we give that asset management where we can manage those panels as well. It's also a great bit of kit where it allows you to do projects with the children in terms of maths, STEM-based, look at the generation and the sort of savings for the school and how that works. So it's a really, really useful tool. Really helps with reporting back to governors and trustees as well about the financial benefits of solar to the school. And also then going back to the previous slide, it's about then creating that behavioural change through our bespoke education programme. So when we are working with schools, they will be given an educator that will work with the school. They will come into the school once a year and they will work with the school however they want. This can be workshops, it can be assemblies, it can involve the parents, it can be a careers fair. And again, it is about bringing those panels to life and making sure that the pupils understand, but also they spread that word as well and they become solar champions for us. That is then broken down into a lot more things that we cover. So in terms of working with schools and trusts, we offer detailed desktop surveys where once we've got the relevant data, we can look at a comprehensive desktop design, which we can do for free for those on a call today. And it really does bring to life the potential for that school in terms of what the solar system sizing is and also the cost of that and also the savings it will bring. Because we are unique in the industry here at Solar for Schools, working with solely schools around 320 currently and increasing, we use live data. So we can ensure that the system that we offer is the perfect size for the school. We're not here to oversize, and sometimes we question why we haven't filled a roof with solar. It is about finding that perfect size for a school so they benefit the most in terms of savings. Naturally, once you get to a certain size, if you go past that, there's an extra cost and that can impact on savings. So it is about finding the best solution for a school. We do full feasibility studies. So we manage the project from start to finish and beyond because we do the education piece. But in terms of getting the installation in place, we provide site visits, which includes taking drone images, ensuring that we've got the right details for the roof. We then apply for consent, which includes going to National Grid, asking for consent. We reach out to the local council for landlord consent, and we also do all the planning and permitted development applications, and also there's a structural survey included as well. So naturally we need to make sure that the roofs that we're looking to use can support the weight of solar. So that is all included. Alongside that, obviously, we've got then the installation process as well. So making sure that you get the best panels, the best mounting kits. We tie into roof warranties and making sure that everything works as best it can for the school. And then, as I touched upon, there's the asset management to then monitor those panels. You get the education that goes with that as well, including resources. And there's also an app that pupils can access as well, which is completely safe. It's only for them to see, but it allows them to start designing solar as well and really getting a feel for it. And at the bottom on the sort of right hand of the screen there, it's about us finding that right funding for councils, trusts, schools, whatever it might be. And we can offer a CBS, which is a Community Benefit Society route, which very often there's no capital needed once we've got a bit of funding, but sometimes there is a small amount. But we're in a day and age, as I touched upon before, where sometimes budgets are very, very stretched, but actually we can get you going with very little investment or no investment at all, can get you up and running, and we can make sure that you can start benefiting from solar. Naturally, there's also other funds that are available, and we're also always monitoring the sort of platforms to make sure that we're aware of any funding that becomes available for schools, and we can feed this back to you. So we do offer a full package in terms of speaking with you, creating designs, moving through the process, and providing the education piece afterwards. So lots involved. The main part of today's webinar is to talk about the National Grid funding. So I'm sure we're all aware of National Grid. They are the district network operator across the Midlands. We formed a relationship back with them 2 years ago, and there is funding available. Now, on the records that I've got, I equate that to around, over 1,900 schools across the Midlands that are eligible. The very simple criteria for that eligibility is being in the National Grid area, which you all fall into if you're in the West Midlands, and also having 25% and above free school meals. This meets the target of working in areas of social deprivation. Now, if you're also part of a trust and you don't fall into that category, we can also use other schools in the trust to help you where they might be entitled to the funding. So if you don't quite match that, there is another way that we could look at that for you. Now, the reason why National Grid brought us on board, started working with us 2 years ago, they had their business plan commitment where they wanted to decarbonise communities, and they wanted to get involved with the local community and make sure that obviously they were out there and doing their bit for the local community that they work in. Naturally, they were then able to provide us with money to support schools, and what they liked about working with us is the fact that we had that portfolio of schools. Naturally, that is ever growing with this funding and our reputation, and it is all about working with schools, using the funding that they've got to promote the work that they do in the area, and obviously the work that we do. Naturally, again, going back to the education piece as well, that supports National Grid and making sure that we're making children and staff aware of renewable energy and how that can help with decarbonisation. So a few stats then around that funding that we've got from National Grid, just to bring it to life. So those of you that are based in Birmingham might recognise the school on screen. That's Belfield. They've had their panels just gone past their first year anniversary. It was June 2025 that they had installation. But in total, we are now working with 86 schools with National Grid. Around 20 of those have been installed. The others we are in development with, and each year that interest is growing and developing. In the first year alone, we're going to save just under 900 tonnes of carbon going into the atmosphere across those solar systems. In total, once we get those schools built, we're looking at 5.6 megawatt across. That does cover any of the regions that National Grid are in, which is the South West and East Midlands, along with the West Midlands. Currently, we average, we're looking at a total of around £341,000 savings across those schools. That averages out around just under £4,000 per school. Lots of those are from schools that have not given it any investment. And the total amount that we've currently had from National Grid is 1.4 million. So we've still got quite a bit in the pot left for this year. But we are finding that along with these webinars and the work that Let's Go Zero do and our natural outreach and conversations, we are getting lots of interest from schools. naturally that's ramped up over in the last few weeks due to the sun being with us, and it sparks that interest. So that's our partnership and relationship with National Grid, and we really want to celebrate the partnership that we've got with National Grid. Very supportive. I meet with them every 2 weeks, feedback the work that we're doing, events that we're going to, schools that are signing up, and they're very keen to support as many schools as possible. So we move on to a case study. I know I'm flying through this, but I just wanted it to sort of be a very fact-finding webinar, give you lots of information, then we can answer any questions that you might have. If you've got any questions that pop up, by the way, as we go through the webinar, feel free to pop them in the chat, and I've got colleagues on hand that can answer those. So another school that's based in Birmingham, this is Adderley Primary School. They went through their first year anniversary, I believe, in April, so around 15 months now that they're into solar. They were given £10,000 of National Grid funding. There was no cost then to themselves to install solar. It came from that funding. These are actual figures in terms of first year savings. The school have saved over £7,000 in the first year. I got those figures from a colleague at the start of this week. Lifetime savings, we then calculate that around being 281,000. We term a lifetime of solar being 25 years. So that does include increases that we may see in electricity prices. They will naturally get good savings over those years, and they've already saved 11 tonnes from their solar over the past, that's up to around 14 months, the data for that. So as you can see, there's definitely the financial element of adding solar to schools that will help with budgets. As I say, that 7,000 is an actual figure that we've got from the data. What we're then hoping to do is, I thought we'd listen to a little bit of a video from Adderley, so give my voice a little bit of a rest, but this is a video that the school have put together, that you can hear about the impact of solar, other things that they're doing in their school as well, but solar was very much something that they wanted to have. They've got a fantastic deputy and sustainability lead, Afsel. He very much championed solar, got in touch with ourselves and went ahead with solar. So it's just a couple of minutes to sit back and listen about the fantastic work at Adderley.
At Adderley School, our future is green energy.
We have installed solar panels from Solar for Schools. It's environment friendly because we are burning less fossil fuels. We want you to have a look at our solar panels which produce lots of green energy.
We have installed 111 solar panels, which has helped us save thousands of pounds. Our target is to become self-sufficient.
Solar panels can make a huge impact by using clean renewable energy sources, and it can help fight climate change and protect the environment.
Solar for Schools and the National Grid provide schools solar panels and educate the children about sustainability. So they can go home and spread the word. This is the most fastest way to raise awareness. Furthermore, it makes you think about the future and how you can contribute to it globally.
As UNICEF ambassadors of this school, we want our school to be more sustainable.
Each class has devised a climate pledge to help combat the climate crisis.
We have written to important people such as David Attenborough. We are calling for action for the current climate crisis. As global citizens, we raise funds for countries that are affected by climate crisis.
To save energy, we turn off electric devices and lights when not in use.
We have LED lights across our school. They are energy efficient. At Adderley, we grow our own organic healthy fruits and vegetables.
We plant our own fruit and veg to help our carbon footprint, such as these leaves.
We use compost bins to create compost and be more environmentally friendly.
As stakeholders of Adderley Park, we have set up a group called Adderley School Friends of Adderley Park.
We planted lots of trees in Adderley Park.
The trees have provided us cleaner air, so we have more oxygen to breathe with. In school, we have a clean air monitor. Let's look at the air quality today.
We are encouraged to walk to school, which reduces carbon monoxide and has no negative impact on the environment. We learn how to ride a bike to encourage a healthier lifestyle.
As a sustainable school, we help to reduce waste and recycle items such as paper and food.
Shine bright with solar!
Hopefully you agree. It's a really nice video that was created by the school. Obviously, talked about solar initially and came back to that, but there are other activities that they're doing in school. So it was really nice to receive that from Adderley, and yeah, I just wanted to show that. But it does talk about solar. Also within the video, you notice they talked about switching lights off, going to LEDs. As part of the education that we provide, we do notice that schools that do go solar, they venture into solar, they do naturally become a lot more energy conscious. So actually they get savings from their bills in terms of the solar price that they pay, but actually their mains electricity does reduce as well, because they're aware of the energy that they're using, so they decide to be a bit more conservative with it. So yeah, really nice video, and that's included when I share the webinar after today's event. So going back onto that education, so as you can see, the pupils talked about the education in the video as well. We've got a fantastic education team here at Solar for Schools. We've got educators all over the country. They're assigned to schools, they work directly with the schools, and we get into schools and speak to as many pupils as well. I always say it includes the staff as well. It's a great training opportunity for staff, because the staff can get involved, they can learn from the educators, they can ask questions, and they're also given resources. So just a few statistics on there in terms of our impact in 2025. And as you can see there where the arrow is, it says there that we feel that around post installation of solar panels, that schools then reduce their energy consumption by around 30% because of that awareness and that education piece, and suddenly they want to use as little as possible and reduce that. So that's definitely worth noting as well. And just as touching upon the asset management side of it, I know we've got school business managers on the call and people that are involved in finance elements. This is where you can access the portal, you can track it. I'm sure we're all aware of people that have got smart apps on their phone where they've got solar at home, and it literally does show you minute by minute, or every 5 minutes, should I say, what you are generating through your panels, what you are using, anything that you're exporting, and you can use those for projects. But it's a really handy tool to look at and revise and kind of go through, and it's very simple to use in terms of pulling the figures as well. You can do it on a day basis, a monthly basis, or an annual basis, and you can pull the exact figures that you want to. So that's included with the offer that we provide as well, and that's me about done. I'll come in at the end just to finish off. But Rosie, if you're ready, I believe I'm going to hand over to yourself. There we go. It's gone too far. Over to you, Rosie.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Tom. Yes, so I'm Rosie. I'm a climate action advisor at Let's Go Zero, and we're a organisation that covers the whole of England in terms of our support for schools, one-to-one support. So we are a national campaign for schools, colleges and nurseries to be zero carbon by 2030. It's obviously clearly quite an ambitious goal at this point, but the aspiration still stands. And it's partnerships like this that we work with Solar for Schools to enable that to happen. And we currently have over 9,000 educational settings signed up to that campaign. So if you're not signed up, please do. I'll put the link in the chat in shortly, but there's a QR code there as well. And that obviously represents over 3 million students. And with our support, next slide, please. Our main avenue of support for schools is to make sure that all schools have a climate action plan in place, aligning with the DfE's climate change and sustainability strategy. Obviously, Tom said as part of the Solar for Schools offer, they offer CPD and staff climate action planning. We are here as a kind of facilitator of that. We've created over 6,000 action plans for schools, and that ranges from helping schools identify the priorities and barriers so that we can really support you in whatever way works best for you, giving further support to the plan so they're put in action, whether that is signposting key resources, connecting with your local authority or energy providers that might be help to kind of monitor energy usage more closely, helping schools to link their plans with other key strategies. So obviously we're really aware that sustainability might feel like a bit of an add-on. Obviously, once you've done the kind of money saving aspect of it, all the smaller jobs and things like waste management and things can feel a bit laborious to go through. So making sure that we're linking all of those actions that you take with things like the Ofsted framework, SIAMs, any other kind of inspection criteria that you might obviously we know that those all link together. And finally, we're supporting schools to understand and monitor your carbon footprint. So we use Count Your Carbon, which is a tool developed by Eco Schools and Keep Britain Tidy. And we feel that having a knowledge of your carbon baseline really gives schools the impetus to make those changes, and gives you more awareness of things like your energy usage and how solar can really benefit you, as well as the smaller actions that go along with that. As Tom said, the kind of behaviour change element is such a powerful way of getting students to lead on these sustainability actions that really do have a tangible benefit for schools. Thanks, Tom.
Super, thank you, Rosie. And just before I finish off, we've got a really strong working relationship with lots of the advisors at Let's Go Zero, so it's definitely something I would recommend getting in touch. Rosie's gonna, oh, there you go, she's gonna pop the link in the chat. Click on that. It is a free service. They'll come in and help you with lots and lots of ideas. And then it's just the next steps from me, really, just to sort of finish the webinar, and then I will open the floor for some questions. You can find out whether your school's eligible for the National Grid grant. I did talk about the criteria earlier, so you may already be aware, but it is still worth getting in touch, even if you're under that 25% free school meals, because we can still work with schools in terms of school funded route or a CBS funded route, where there may just be a little bit of capital that's needed. So we can do all the work for you. We can look at that, and then we can sort of give you the next steps once you've got in touch. So please do feel free to reach out. We offer those free desktop designs, as I say, for anybody on today's call. You can scan that QR code, or there is a link on the left-hand side, which once I share the presentation, you'll get that. Or if you just want to reach out for a chat or any questions, my email's there in the bottom right-hand corner. So it's just tomd@solarforschools.co.uk. And that kind of brings us to the end. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I know we've got a bit of time, as always, the idea. So if anybody has got a question that they'd like to ask, feel free to pop their hand up, and I should be able to unmute you, and then we can go from there. It may be that I've covered everything and there is no questions, which is absolutely fine. We've got one about many schools in Nigeria, so that's one that we can pick up. International partners. Oh, thank you for that, Samuel. So yes, we do currently work with other countries. We're currently looking into working in schools in Spain. One of our colleagues was at a conference back in, I think it was April or early May, and the design team are working on a few of the schools that have been in touch there. And then we've also got schools in Germany as well that we work with. So it is definitely a possibility. We recently did a webinar as well around trying to connect schools in this country with international schools, so they can sort of compare solar, which is always nice to see, and kind of go from there. Pitch roofs. Question from Kevin. Pitch roofs viable? Potentially. Pitch roofs we can work with. It will depend on material, Kevin, and also the elevation of that pitch as well. But again, we can look at that, and we can then feed that back to you once we've had a look at individual schools. That's not a problem. Will there be any more webinars like this? If so, where could I find them? So we have got a YouTube page. I did one previously at the start of the year with Cindy from Let's Go Zero, and we also had Afsal on that one actually from Adderley, so I'm happy to share that webinar. And then also from an education point of view, we are doing webinars the first Tuesday of every month. So I believe there will be one next week, if that's correct, which I can share with you. If not, they'll restart again in September, and they are various different webinars. They're first thing in the morning, they're drop-in sessions. I know we've done one around governors, one around international community, one around using the resources that we provide. So they're ones to definitely look out for. If you're on LinkedIn and you follow our LinkedIn page, then you'll be able to get that detail. Or if you sign up on the website as well, we can then provide you with the newsletter with all of those details. So we do regular webinars, and then we're looking at doing these sort of regionalised webinars probably once a term or twice a year, just to kind of put that word out there and obviously have these conversations. How long will the National Grid grant last for? Will it be possible to apply in 6 months' time? We're into the, so thank you for that question. We're into the sort of final year of the funding. We are hoping to extend that relationship with National Grid, but nothing's been confirmed. But as it's been so popular this year, then we definitely would like to extend that. 6 months' time should be absolutely fine. What we need to do is just make sure that we do all our internal pieces in terms of allocating that funding. If that conversation can happen sooner, then we'd be happy to pick that up, because in terms of installation timeframes, you are looking at around 6 to 9 months from sort of giving the go ahead that you want to work with us to then us doing all the steps in that process. So it can take a long time to get into actually installing the solar. So picking up a conversation as early as possible is great. And Joe, I know you put in there, have you partnered with a community energy group? Yes, we have. So we've worked with Milton Keynes Community Energy. We've also done some work up in York, and I know Joe